Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and I am a little tired and my voice is a little gone from doing the watch party for the Mythic Championship 5 all weekend long. I hung out on stream and watched nearly every round of the 3-day event with an audience that often ranged between 150 and 400 people watching with me, which was very, very fun. But it's also about total hours of streaming over a weekend, and usually I take weekends off, so my voice is feeling it, my mind is feeling it, my body is feeling it. But you know what? I wake up on Monday and I record for you anyway, because that's what it takes to have a different deck every day, the CGB way. And today we're diving right into it, the mono green color challenge. It's Covert Go Green week on the channel, where we try to make multiple different decks from the color green. A little bit of housekeeping before we dive into the deck review. I put a poll up on my community tab. If you guys want to know how to get access to my polls to help me shape the direction of the channel and get little updates and news bits from me, you have to subscribe to the channel, and then in your subscriptions feed you should see material such as this. Oh, hold on just a second. There we go. So this is the poll I put up, which is, what is the right number of days in decks for the color challenges? I will play a different deck one each day of the same color or combination. I may add Brawl when it comes out as a format if it's fun. Okay, so I was asking, should I do 1 standard deck, 1 historic deck, 2 standard, 1 historic, 3 standard, 1 historic, or 4 standard and 1 historic? Like, how many of these decks should I play? Lately, I've been doing 5 standard, 1 historic, and I knew I wanted to pare that back a little because 5 was a lot. I was feeling the stress of 5, but 4 with 1 historic is the max I went to. And as you see, the winner there is 43% of the vote says 4 standard, 1 historic. However, this is the case where I would encourage some of, I think a lot of people out there would say, well, that option won. That's what you do. It won. But winning isn't everything in this case. It's important to look at when an extreme example wins, that you also look at what the alternative means. And what this means is that 43% of you wanted the max, the extreme, and that 57% of you, more than half of you, wanted less than that. So I think that what's always best here is a compromise, because when half of your audience, more than half of your audience, actually wants you to do less, and a little bit under half wants you to do more, there's probably a Goldilocks here. There's probably a just right. So my plan is to, for the color challenge, do 3 standard and 1 historic. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bookend the color challenges with a little visit out into the spiky metagame and play some of the better decks in standard that are floating around, some of the popular lists from this week, talk about metagame in one of my videos each week. And maybe we'll also take the time for some absolute off-the-wall crazy builds and jank. Maybe I'll even steal something from some other content creators who are building straight up brews, or we'll make time for some of the Patreon and Twitch subscriber deck lists that they send me and build that into YouTube. But either way, my plan is to do 3 standard, 1 historic. That's going to be our compromise number. And I'm going to bookend them with some other videos that include some spiky decks from the metagame, because the metagame changes week to week. It's important to keep up with it. And some really off-the-wall builds. So in that way, we're doing a lot of color challenge, a little bit of other things. And I think it will provide a good mix to keep the channel fresh. At least that is my hope. And that is my plan. So there's going to be another poll that's coming up that I'm going to place up here soon. And it's going to involve free-to-play and what to do with my free-to-play account. So if you have opinions on this, do you want to see free-to-play content on this channel, the main CGB channel, then you're going to want to vote in this. And to vote in these, all you should have to do is be a subscriber, and you should see it come up in your subscriptions feed, either on mobile or on desktop. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. Thank you for hanging out and hearing that. And now we can talk about the deck. It's been a little bit of an intro already, so I'm going to make it fast. It's green. It's green, you guys. We play green creatures. We attack with them. We have 3 Once Upon a Time to try to help us curve out and have the right creature in the right place. Because the most important thing in this deck is to have something along the lines of 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. Every now and then, your curve gets messed up with a Paradise Druid, and you can go straight to a 4-drop, like a Questing Beast or an early Nissa, and those are good too. But what you really want is Pelt Collector, anything, Beastie, you know, something like that. Some very powerful heavy hitters. Now, as I go around the room, we've just got a kind of a collection of zoo here. We're trying to take a more selective approach to the deck because we have Once Upon a Time. When this card goes 3 deep into the deck, or 5 deep into the deck rather, you can find the right card for the right job, and that means you get a lot more benefit from having a mix of, say, Kroll Harpooner to eat a Gilded Goose or fight a Hydroid Krasis, and a Barkhide Troll, which has the Hexproof ability, and it can be much better against targeted removal in red decks. So having a mix makes much more sense than it would if you didn't have Once Upon a Time. We have a few Wildwood trackers, just to make sure that we have something to play on turn 1, because every now and then we'll miss that Pelt Collector. It happens. Growth Chamber Guardian basically plays along because we have the Great Henge, which can be a total value engine. And 3 Great Henges here up at the top. Lovestruck Beast and Yorvo are really kind of there to get there. Kroll Harpooner, by the way, also can be a nice combo when you have dead things in the graveyard to run out your Great Henge. Vivian is amazing. Nissa is amazing. These green Planeswalkers are going to be in so many decks this week. You can tell they're on the march. So if you plan to make my green decks, you better set aside some mythic and rare wild cards for Vivian, Arcbow Ranger, and Nissa, who shakes the world. Speaking of setting aside mythic wild cards, is there anything better than Questing Beast right now? The zombie horde might be banned by the time I finish this video, but until Field of the Dead is eradicated, the Questing Beast will reign supreme. And I think Questing Beast has a lot of life, even after Field of the Dead gets banned, if it gets banned, because, man, this card is good against anything. And once you give it Trample or use the fight ability from Vivian Arcbow Ranger, this pairing is a dream come true. 1 Castle Garenbrig, 22 Forest, cut one of the usual 24 land from a deck like this with Once Upon a Time available. And then in the sideboard, we have just a collage of creatures to go get with Vivian Arcbow Ranger, but I'll gotta be honest, I've never used the -5. So far I haven't fetched a creature from the sideboard and had the glory of that occur. Usually the plus on Vivian and the -3 are enough to kill the average mage that is out there. That said, we can take advantage of some of the weird numbers in the deck, such as 3 Questing Beast. We get to put a 4th Questing Beast in the sideboard in case we just want to go fetch it in a crucial situation. That should be enough intro for good old Smash Mono Green. Let's go start a standard event and bash some heads. Checker Beast Arcbow? Why not? We got a lot of land. Hopefully, we'll be done with that soon. Not too many more lands, please. Unfortunately, this does not get buffed off the Lovestruck Beast Heart's Desire. And that's just too bad. We're gonna have to deal with that. It's the way it's gotta be. But next turn we have Beast, then we have Arcbow. It looks like we're gonna play against the Scourge of the meta. Good old Field of the Dead, because why wouldn't we? But we play this pre-combat to pump the Wirewood Tracker, and now our opponent is still a turn off of a Wrath, giving Arcbow Ranger a chance to shine. I guess what we want to see the least is a Teferi, and here's Fabled Passage probably getting a Plains. To play a Circuitous Route, okay, the zombies start next turn. In the meantime, I get to punch my opponent really hard a time or two. So let's get that going.
Close your eyes. Breathe.
Who wants to get pumped?
Listen to the sounds of the wild.
We should probably do something besides pumping the Lovestruck Beast. We should probably pump up our other things as well, but if we don't have a 1/1 creature, the Beast can't attack. So here... What's the another sizing issue we might run into? The Giant? Yeah, we might run into a Beanstalk Giant. So I would love to have the Lovestruck Beast able to go over the top of it next turn, so we'll put 1 counter on the Lovestruck Beast now. Punch the opponent very hard. And if we face a Wrath here, we're really close to winning, but not quite. Questing Beast gets in for 6 next turn with the help of Vivian Arcbow Ranger, not 7. So this is gonna be close. By the way, that second basic island means no zombie from the opponent, and they're gonna try a growth spiral. It's worth noting I have the last questing beast in my sideboard. If I get Vivian up to 6 next turn and use this questing beast to get the opponent to 1, assuming they wrath my board, then Vivian the next turn can minus to search for the final questing beast to finish the game. There's also Nissa who shakes the world, but I'm assuming zombies will be on the battlefield to block the elemental that she can make. So yeah, the opponent casting this growth spiral, but just in the tank now, and that's gotta be good for us. Here's your zombie. Here's your Golos. All right, it's a lot of zombies. And that Golos is tough. Here's another Field of the Dead and 2 more zombos. Yep. Yeah, I think we've just got to get them as low as we can with this questing beast. This will force Golos to chump block the beast, I believe. Remember the death touch here. So we'll hit that submit button. Death touch means some damage gets through.
My, how you've grown.
But not all of it. And if we give up our 1/1, our Lovestruck Beast won't be able to attack. So attacking with the 1/1 doesn't make sense. And we just have to keep the pressure high. Here's a chump. Here's a block. And another. And another. All right, the opponent wipes out our stuff. We reduce them to 1. But this is not good. This is not good. Now Golos gets to spin the wheel. And you gotta assume more zombies will be coming. We have a way back in, but I don't know if it's gonna work out. Counting mana. Yeah. There might be a spot here. If our opponent goes for a big Krasis, Vivian minus kills it. No, here's Once Upon a Time. And there is a Krasis. Still tanking here. 1 is not 0, my friends. And you can tell me, where did I miss a point of damage in this game? I guess I might have missed one just now by attacking with the 1/1. If I had attacked with the 1/1, it would have made some of the blocks different, or forced some of the blocks to be different. So yeah, that's probably a mistake. That's probably a mistake to have this 1/1 token still here when the beast was going to die anyway. But I think we've got this. That said, I think we've got this. Vivian minus. Now, read this card. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker. This has death touch, so it'll kill whatever it touches. Vivian minus. Questing Beast hits the Krasis. Questing Beast attacks. It wouldn't have trample. Son of a... That means Golos could block it. It needs to have trample. Well, I guess we forced the trade with Golos, right? What else can we do? Well, we have a few other things we can do. We're probably going to end up Yorvo Lovestruck Beast or Lovestruck Beast itself here. It says whenever another green creature enters the battlefield. Okay. Down with you.
We're gonna tear you apart.
Charge. And then we need enough blockers to protect Vivian. And now our line of fetching another questing beast if this one dies is off the table. Yeah, why didn't you attack last turn? What was I thinking? But I gotta let it go now. So, do I get out the 5/5 or do I get out the 4/4? Once the 1/1s are dead, the Lovestruck Beasts aren't very good. So I think that having the Lovestruck Beast out now, in case of a Wrath or something, makes a lot more sense than putting out the 1/1, then the Yorvo, and then losing the 1/1s and having a Lovestruck Beast that possibly can't attack. So, how many zombies will be on the battlefield? Will there be a Wrath? There's another freaking Golos, you guys. You know, all I had to do was plus this, huh? Death Touch and Trample would have got there. I failed again. Alright. It's my first game of the morning. This is definitely a my bad at this point. And ain't nothing I can say. All I had to do, I didn't have to fight that Hydra, that Hydroid Crassus, because it could only absorb 1 damage. I blew it. I blew it again, you guys. Oh, not a pro. You know, a lot of you have asked me why I don't play in the Mythic Championships anymore. This is why. I'm actually not that good. A true and proper competitor would have seen that. Would have seen that line. All right. So, we could let a zombie through, but I don't think it makes sense to do that. I think we have to keep the Vivian for 1 more turn. We've got to give this thing Trample Touch. Hold on. 7. Yeah, it doesn't do it. Yep, gotta do it like this. But the opponent can just let the Golos live. We could lose the Gideon to kill the Golos and take out the Teferi. Are we dead next turn? No. I think that's what we have to do now. I think we have to kill the Golos. Because the opponent spinning the wheel gets another look at these Wraths. Questing Beast goes in, takes down Teferis.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
And now we need the opponent to have 3 blanks. 4 blanks. I mean, their deck's all land. Why don't we just have land? How about some land? And oh my god, they did have blanks. I don't deserve that win. So there were 2 crucial misplays. I didn't attack with the token. Shouldn't have been kicking myself about that. And I should have just plussed on the Questing Beast. Even if the opponent blocked with Golos and the Hydroid Crassus, what was that? 5 damage would have gone through? And that should have been lethal. Yeah. 2 big mistakes but there you go. Hopefully we learn from them, use them in the next game. We have a once upon a time to try to fill our curve because this hand is really slow. We need at least a good 2 or a 3 drop, and we need land. It's borderline unkeepable, but I am going to keep it based on the power and the fact that I have a lot of much lower cost things in my curve. Simic Flash, maybe? Well, anything could be a breeding pool these days. That Paradise Druid is a lovely sight. Let's go ahead and see if we find a Pelt Collector. We do. Yeah. If we draw another land, our hand is good. If we miss that land drop, though, it's dangerous. But I do think we have to be aggressive, so we'll take Pelt Collector. But I might end up going back on that decision and saying, man, I wish I'd taken a land. Let's find out. Sultai. Sultai, shock yourself. Knight of the Ebon. Okay. What do you suppose that is? Anyway, another land off the top, keeping me from being punished. A Pelt Collector on the grow. Smashing in. 2 points. 2 points green. But yeah, what are you doing? What does Knight of the Ebon Legion hang out with Breeding Pool for? And a Duress. Oh, enjoy. Enjoy. But what are you doing? Talk about a card that I mean, when it's hitting me, I can't really pick on it too much, but a card that is striking me from the main deck? Duress? And a Woodland Champion? Yeah, no blocks. So, Questy Beastie? I think so. I think that Vivian can wait. Questy Beastie. Let's do this. That animation's still going well after the beast is in the red zone, and the opponent falls to 9, facing 3/3 Pelt Collector, 4/4 Beast. 4th land, Vraska. That will not do anything about the beast. Beast don't care. In fact, you are beast fodder, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and down goes Pelt Collector. Well, I can henge up, or I can arc bow. Right now, nothing's blocking this beast anyway, so there's not that much to be gained from Vivian. Fighting one of these isn't a priority to me, so let's henge up while we can before something happens to one of our creatures. And get the value right away off a Paradise Druid. Ooh. Well, if the opponent pulls a sweeper out, then we'll be left with just 2 Vivians. But when I say just in almost a joking light, this card is boss. So Questing Beast hits the opponent, deals damage over to Vraska every time it hits. That's all part of the wall of text. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. All part of the wall of text. The opponent says go. Yep, let's, yeah, we'll send out Vivian. And putting the counters on the Death Toucher and giving it trample means the opponent can't stop it. The chump block won't work, and that's going to be game. Okay, we're on the draw, but we have a mana ramp, and we have a Yorvo, and I guess we'll give it a shot. I get nervous against the Narset with Leaves because I immediately assume I will get Thought Erasured. It just seems like these were the Esper Control sleeves, even though Esper Control isn't good anymore and nobody's playing Thought Erasure. Can you believe that? I don't think a single Thought Erasure was registered at the Mythic. I would have to go back through and actually look through the deck lists, but I'm almost positive there were 0 Thought Erasures at Mythic Championship number 5 in Long Beach last weekend. I know I never saw one on camera. And it looks like our opponent is doing the Gruul version of the thing we are trying to do. Size matters. So let's get the Paradise Druid down. These Growth Chamber Guardians are great with the Great Henge. And let's get our Wirewood Tracker in there. Opponent might... Wow, thinking about it. I would love this block. Nope. And now I'm sure we'll see Spellbreaker and a Smork for 6, so there's going to be a lot of pressure on Yorvo to D up and at least slow this army down. If the opponent has a Domri's Ambush or some way to keep pressure coming, there isn't much I can do. You're coming at me? Well, if my play's Yorvo next turn and likely nothing else, we may as well do it. But yeah, the opponent gives up the mana creature. Alright, big guy. Let's go. You're not really doing anything, are you? The chump blocker isn't really what I'm in the market for. So let's hope there's no Domri's Ambush. No way to grow the Pelt Collector. Let's hope this is our new brick wall. I know that hope is a 4-letter word in Magic. I am aware. Crap. That's bad. Well, we need something. I guess the hope is to draw another big thing? I know, hope. But, like, this just can't continue, right? I mean, we'll eventually have to trade something for it. Too slow. Maybe a Barkide Troll here? A Lovestruck Beast. Well, I guess it can set me up with a 5/5 next turn. So we'll put out our little Heart's Desire token to take a beating, although these have trample, so it doesn't help me much. Down to 1. And that's not good either. So because of trample here, we have to draw like a 1-drop to... That block's there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're mana short. We're mana short of trying to find a way to stabilize, but going second was too much of a hurdle to overcome. If the opponent attacks with everything here, they've got it. Let's see if they do. Yeah, they did Gruul proper. They are proper Gruul mage. Bravo. That is a hand. I will try it. And yeah, the aggro continues. But meet my pelt collector. Let's do this thing. Cavalcade comes down immediately. Trade or not? I think we let this get bigger. I think I can spot my opponent a point of damage here. So, I think I like the Paradise Druid coming down. Having more mana, possibly having Nissa turn sooner. I think I like the Pelt Collector on defense, cutting off the Scorch Spitter. Second Spits. Okay. We got Shock. We do have Shock. Well, now I think we take a trade. I think we take a trade. It's a tough one, but yeah. Alright. Let's play Yorvo. Huge. Here's a wall of beef. See if you can get around this one. Legion Warboss says, I don't plan to get around it. I plan to throw everything to its death. Alright. Fair enough. Attack, attack, damage, damage, damage. Eat your Scorched Spitter. The opponent might be thinking about saving the Scorched Spitter, and it looks like that is the decision. So the Warboss right now is a 1 damage a turn little monkey. Alright. Here comes the Pelt Collector. Let's make this bigger. Here comes a Growth Chamber Guardian. Let's make this bigger. And, I mean, can we turn this corner? I don't think so. I think we just pass it back in this situation. And there's Torbs. I mean, I've got blockers for everything. It's all just a trade, but I take a freaking Lightning Bolt from the Spits. Give up the Growth Chamber Guardian? I suppose so. But man, this Legion Warboss is a damage factory. That's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one to handle. We need a Vivian, I think, here. And we don't get it. We have a Nissa. We're at 5.
We will not fail. Be wary of the ground you walk on.
We could play another Harpooner just to grow this. I was holding it out for a Spitfire, but this version doesn't look like it even has that going for it. I take a Lightning Bolt next turn and the turn after, so there's no time anymore to hold back. No, then there won't be enough blockers and something will get through. I can't do it. Can't do it. Alright. It's gotta be Vivian. It's gotta be a way to kill the Torbran or I'm dead. Well, I'm dead anyway, aren't I? Yeah, I'm dead anyway. Wow, rough pair of games. Life is hurting out here to be green. Life is hurting out here to be green. The Cavalcade is the finisher once again. And I think I've got to be more aggressive. I think I'm playing the deck too cautiously. I think I have to be smorking. Alright, last 2 games have not been aggressive enough. I have another opener that seems fine. Alright, we're on the draw. Maybe that just has everything to do with it, but we'll give it a shot. Let's go for it. Our opponent looking at a golden egg hand. I think they're picking out what to put back. So let's see. And yeah, decisions made. Once upon a time. Cauldron Familiar, for the love of God. But no black yet, and a Witch's Oven, of course. We're gonna need some trample. Calling the trample. This card has not impressed me today. I haven't activated Growth Chamber Guardian yet. So far it's been Grizzly Bears. I know it's good with the Henge, but the Henge has been too slow all day. I'm definitely have scarred takes from the last 2 games where I got absolutely smorked to death, and it doesn't feel like that should be so easy to do to green, but it's definitely what happened. Oven Champion. Champion can get very big. Let's, I guess, drop a Growth Chamber Guardian and attack. Arr. Trades with the oven combo, and maybe there's another champion in hand. Invasion. Okay. So do I get Yorvo out, or do I grow this Guardian when I have the chance? I think I Yorvo them. I mean, we're down to a Cauldron Familiar and a Mystery card. If it were a removal spell, I think they'd prioritize the Growth Chamber Guardian. So Yorvo growing is the way that we make the henge happen, and when the henge happens, we have a value engine. Our opponent already got one, you see. And here we have Dreadhorde Invasion, Witch's Oven, Cauldron Familiar, 1 Swamp, 1 Mystery card. How does the opponent wiggle out of this? It's definitely a wiggly set of cards, and we have a Dreadhorde Invasion token turned into a food main phase without blocking, so that a Wicked Wolf can gain Indestructible and fight the Yorvo. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good turn. Alright, I guess we have to keep punching. Let's go get this. Let's also make a Heart's Desire token. And get in there. But now the wolf has a supply of food. This is gonna get ugly. And it's good. And then not gonna take long. The fact that the oven can make food for the wolf every turn means our attacks are basically bad, and we're going to have to go wide. So the henge must resolve, and there we go. What is this? It's 7. 7 minus 5 is 4. So we wouldn't be able to play the henge and the beast. So let's just get this going. The sooner the better. The life gain can outpace the Cauldron Familiar. This will put a counter on the Guardian unless search right away, which is nice, and draw an extra card. So this is a value engine. And no attacks. Because this wolf, this oven makes a food, makes the wolf indestructible, eats the Growth Chamber Guardian, or the Cauldron Familiar just does loop-de-loops on us. But yeah, prepare to grind. We're gonna have to go wide and find ways to get damage in, I guess, because right now the Dreadhorde Invasion is offset by the Cauldron Familiar. That sucks. That's a top deck. That's a good top deck. Just indestructible 2-for-1s as far as our opponent's eyes can see. And yeah, this wolf probably wants to attack, but let's see. Maybe not. Yep, there we go. And no blocks yet. Hopefully I don't get into a spot where I have to do that. Another forest. Alright, I think we play you first. Just have a nice large body. Something to rumble with. Alright. Now I'm going to hold full control. I'm going to play this Growth Chamber Guardian, and with the Great Henge trigger on the stack, I'm going to activate the Growth Chamber Guardian so that it also becomes a 5/5. Because I think size matters here. I mean, these wolves will continue to have food sources, but if we have multiple things and the opponent only has access to 1 food, depending on how they play this, you know, that could be a thing. Maybe we could trick the opponent into some kind of a trade. Decline now. Yep, we're all out of toys in there. So, does this 3/3 want to rumble? I think we'll see a block sacked for the food. I guess the opponent could block the 1/1 and take 3. Yeah, let's put them up. Let's see what they want to do. Let's see what they want to do. I guess I'll give up this 1/1 for the 3 damage. I'm not even that worried about ever attacking with this Love-Struck Beast. Alright, takes 3. Sweet. Next turn might get really explosive with Castle Garenbrig and multiple cards to play. Draw a bunch of cards, gain 2 life. Our opponent with a tapped Overgrown Tomb. I feel like we're still in this one. The opponent only has access to 1 food, so if they attack with both wolves, we'll block both. The opponent will eat one of our creatures, but lose one of their wolves, and they see it, and they're not going for it. Let's make that big bonus mana. Do we want to make another 4/4 Growth Chamber Guardian? Probably, but we could definitely start with the Pelt Collector because it gets bigger as more things come down. And we've got 9 mana, so we've got mana to spare. Again, we have to hold full control here. Resolve. Before that attaches, activate, so that we have a 5/5 instead of a 3/3 when all is said and done. Decline. We don't need to go searching the library right now because everything's out of it. There's no more Growth Chamber Guardians to be found. Just a waste of time. How's our graveyard count? We got some stuff, so these harpooners can continue to grow this Pelt Collector well into the future. But we may as well get it going. We've got to go pretty wide, and we've got to hit the opponent really hard as quickly as possible. So this time we want to stack the Kroll Harpooner to resolve first, before the Pelt Collector trigger. I guess it doesn't matter either way there. Oh, we're not even going to trigger it because this wasn't large enough when it entered. Makes sense. Makes sense. And then these 2 attacks are bad, so no thank you. Pass it back to the opponent. Hope they can't do anything quite this crazy. And they forgot to make... Alright, they keep on trying to grow their army. I'd be sacrificing my army for more food. But the opponent here has only drawn a couple of land. They're not banking their food, so this is going to be a huge attack that's coming. Especially once you factor in Nissa, who shakes the freaking world. And Vivian, Arcbow Ranger. So here's Nissa.
I will protect the virtue of this world.
We'll get a 3/3 ready for this.
The land fights for us.
And here's our Arcbow Ranger. Get some trample on some of my larger creatures.
I am Scarlet's Vengeance, and I'm coming for you next.
Yeah, she's pretty tough. She's a tough one.
We're fit enough to survive.
I probably have a lethal attack. Probably. But when it comes to things like food and blocking and sack, I'm not even... I'm gonna play all the things. I'm not gonna take any chances. And this, of course, will draw me another card, which might give me another creature, which might grow my Pelt Collector. There's a lot of might there, but it is what it is. We do the things. Another Nissa. Well, I could make another creature, but I'd have to tap a land to do it, so there's no point in that. And here we go. See if that can finish our opponent off. Seems like it should be more than enough. I've learned when food's involved, I go for max damage because I always miscount somewhere a food. Some of you might be just so smart that this never happens to you, but I don't see a reason not to. Opponent mathin'. Pitter patter. Yeah, that's still a lot of damage. Probably too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 17. A little bit of food won't make a difference there, but yeah, see, there's double food, so it's closer than it looks. And the job's done. Took out the food deck. Picked up our 3rd win, stayed alive in the event. Alright, we have Once Upon a Time to dig, and we have a 1-2-3 curve with a great henge. So it seems like it should be good. Once Upon a Time grabbing a land wouldn't be terrible. I mean, it's all fine. But yeah, let's roll. And we're on the play. What? No. Land it is. Track him. We got my trusty oversized fox. We're getting on the prowl. And it's a Temple of Mystery for our opponent. Gonna look at that top card. At this point, you're just like, please be Simic Flash. Please be Simic Flash. How does Simic Flash come back when you get 2 creatures ahead of them? One of them being a Growth Chamber Guardian that you can activate. It's brutal. Anyway, tracker on the move. Let's see what our opponent has for us. If it's a Paradise Druid, I don't know. Are we moving in on Yorvo? It is a Paradise Druid. I think we move in on Yorvo then and try to get the Great Henge down as quickly as we can. But if we attack first and the Paradise Druid blocks, I'd definitely take a trade with the Growth Chamber Guardian. Or not a trade, but I'd pump the Guardian, so let's move. There might be a Wicked Wolf in store for us, but there's no food from the opponent at this point. Maybe that's a good reason to grow the Growth Chamber Guardian. I still have a really good turn 4 with Yorvo and Pelt Collector. So yeah. If our opponent plays a Wicked Wolf without food, it can't take out the Guardian, and the Guardian keeps getting in. That is rock solid. It also trades with a Questing Beast. On the other hand, if the opponent plays a Wolf here and eats the Guardian, I still have a Yorvo, a Pelt Collector, and the Great Henge coming down, which is good, but is it good enough? Whereas the Guardian represents a ton of value. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. We'll see how wrong I am next turn, but doesn't seem like it can be very wrong, and it makes sure that I have a backup Guardian, so that I don't just flood out, which is one of the risks that the hand has. And here is a Questing Beast. And because we grew the Guardian, it can keep cracking in there while the Beast is alive. 2 Pelt Collectors. So I'm going to play the Yorvo and a Pelt Collector, then a Yorvo, and then attack, because if the opponent trades with the Questing Beast, it grows one of my Pelt Collectors. The opponent may not take the trade having seen the Yorvo because it's the bigger card, but they might also have a second Questing Beast. And then I just did it wrong. I just did it wrong. Do I want 2 extra damage? What if the opponent doesn't trade with the Growth Chamber Guardian? Should I trade my Wildwood Tracker here for 4 damage? I think so. It also grows the Pelt Collector if it dies. So it's not like I'm losing much. But this Pelt Collector should be a 2-2 anyway. And the Questing Beast is going to take it. Now what's the move the opponent can pull out here? Obviously Nissa, who shakes the world, is a big problem. Oko, who elks the world, is a particularly terrifying problem. You know, playing the Pelt Collector second grows the Yorvo instead of the... maybe that's what I wanted. Not a pure misplay. Maybe the subconscious knew what to do. Now I'm just justifying. Simic says Vivian. Ugh.
With the Arcbow at my side,
I think
I can't lose a fight.
I think I'm wrecked. I think I'm absolutely wrecked here. Vivian minus. Deal the death touchy damage to the Yorvo. No.
My, how you've grown.
Wow. What's your plan? Goose? I'm really surprised here. I thought that was going to be a wrecking. Let's get this thing. Speaking of a wrecking, let's get this card going. Let's collect some pelt. Trigger, trigger. Hello. Take that action. Go get this. Questing Beast has to block... Well, the Goose can jump. Maybe I want to save this for Trample next turn, though. And since Questing Beast just eats either of these... Yeah. Let's send it, because the Goose can jump it. If it trades for the Questing Beast, then the Pelt Collectors grow, and Vivian could have made it trade for the Questing Beast anyway. Yeah, let's force on... Yeah, we force the block if we attack the Vivian here. Now, it could also ensure that Vivian dies and only give away a creature, or force a chump block from the Goose. Let's see, Goose chump blocks, Questing Beast eats a Growth Chamber Guardian. Pelt Collector gets him for 2, means Vivian dies if it -3s. I think that's fine. I think we just need to really sell getting rid of resources here. Because we've got the Great Henge. As long as it doesn't turn into the Great Elk, we're doing okay. And there's the blocks. And now if Vivian minuses, if Vivian makes the Questing Beast fight, Vivian dies as well. Hopefully next turn is Arcbow Ranger makes Yorvo trample and something else, and we just shove. But I expect the board state to change. I expect the board state to change. There it is.
You picked the wrong fight.
Pair of trampling Pelt Collectors now with the opponent on 8 life. No, the Elk Maker. No. All right. All right. Merely Pixie. If I double block, I lose both creatures. But if I lose both creatures and the Beast is gone, next turn I have these two. If I play Vivian and I plus, this is a 4 and this is a 5. Trample, that's 9, but the Pixie can absorb 2, so this is a no blocks. So it wouldn't be lethal. Harpooner is pretty good. I wish I still could gain the +1/+1 counter from the Henge, but it's pretty dang good. I think this plus Vivian is lethal. Let's fight. And there's the scoops. It was lethal without it. We didn't even need Vivian. The opponent couldn't block it all after that play. And we beat the food. And the Elk Maker. And we got our 4th win. So breaking even here in events and getting some rewards for it. House money game. Oh, man. This Yorvo must carry me. This Yorvo must do the work. Because double Henge. Well, the opponent can remove or Elk 1, and then we might play another. Our opponent's on 6 with a Once Upon a Time to kick things off. So, once upon a time, there was a Garruk avatar with no sleeves. When Garruk looked at his top 5 cards, a Bone Crusher Giant appeared, and Garruk was pleased. Stomping Ground tapped. Okay. Well, this doesn't grow this, but we might draw a thing that does grow this, so we'll lead on the Pelt Collector. Even though the Wirewood Attacker... The Wirewood Tracker could attack as a 2-power creature. The opponent says, hello. They're probably just going to Bone Crush it. There was no real way around that. Oh, we're going Zertaw. Zertaw! Alright. Sad Tracker. But, yeah, Gruul's strong. If Gruul has a way to deal with the Yorvo and we don't draw any more creatures, it's very bad. Not a lot we can do. Yeah, no blocks. Pass. So Bone Crusher plans to crush some bones here. I don't think playing this first accomplishes much, but here we go. It's gonna trigger. It's kind of weird that the opponent would let this trigger unless they plan to kill the Wirewood Tracker and not the Pelt Collector, which I'm kind of happy about. All right, Well, the opponent took it. I was pretty sure if I played the Yorvo, the Bone Crusher Giant would hit the Pell Collector, and I was hoping the Bone Crusher Giant would hit the Tracker instead after seeing the attack, but it looks like we've changed our mind now. Was willing to take the 3 damage. And there is Yorvo, the Lord of Garen Brig. How about, can call it Garen Big. Uh-oh. Well, that's a bad sign. That probably means Collision Colossus, so I'm taking the damage here in hopes that we can get a Henge to come down next turn, because we really need it. And there's a Troll. Alright, Henge doesn't come down this turn, but maybe next turn. Maybe next turn. And with the opponent tapped out, I think we can go in with the Yorvo. The opponent's going to attack next turn anyway, and we need Yorvo to live. Because Yorvo plays the Henge. Yorvo is our Henger, and our opponent is at 10. It's not like they can do this forever. So I think this is a good turn to tax their Collision Colossus, make them play it, which means the Bark-Eyed Troll has to step up and take one for the team. Save this to chump block someday. It's a rough game. Drool is fast. The Yorvo is a 2-turn clock though. The Great Henge is a life gain engine. But we are a little floody, and 2 Henges, well, we might have to do some ridiculous things to gain a bit of extra life. The opponent poking around with their cards. One of the cards to be on the lookout, since Gruul won the Pro Tour yesterday, and this is probably the same list, is Embercleave. Does infinite damage almost. There's no, like, good news to block it. But the fact that the opponent's taking this long, they might be nervous about this race, which is kind of weird. But nah, no nerves here. Let's see what the opponent does. Is it a cleave? I'm betting it's Collision Colossus based on last turn, but the reason you force the opponent to play it on their Bone Crusher Giant is they do take 2 points of damage from their own Colossus when they target their Bone Crusher Giant. Down to 6. It's going to be a close one, team. And this is 1, 2. This is 7 damage. The opponent needs a blocker, and they have a Hexproof Paradise Druid. God bless them. We have a land. God bless us. And there's the Great Henge, and now I guess we're D'ing up. I should probably attack with the Tracker. The Tracker becomes a 2-2. But we can't even play Henge, which is sort of what, like, I really did want to go Henge into Henge for the life. But the flood has been too real. We've drawn 6 lands and 4 creatures. Not enough. Not enough. And what is this? 9 I'm taking here? Yeah, too much. Too much if the opponent attacks with all, and they do. So that's going to be the end of our run today. Unfortunately, not enough. We were a mana or a creature short there, it feels like. And maybe the Tracker staying home flips that game. I definitely didn't play a good event today, to be honest with all of you. I am pretty disappointed in my own play, but we had fun and we still got 4 wins. So you out there, you can do better. I hope you enjoyed this event, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing me fumble around a little bit. The deck is better than I am, so as far as a good mono green Stompy list, I love the list. You should play it, and I'm going to stop wallowing in my own misery for a minute, pull my head out of my butt. I will tell you about my weekend. I spent over 20-some hours streaming, which is way above average. I usually don't stream on weekends at all. I watched nearly every round of the Mythic Championship in a watch party with between 200 and 400 viewers a good amount of the time. And it was really fun. I got to hang out, but my brain is a little bit magic fried, and I'm probably taking today off of streaming to go watch some Zombieland with my wife. And, yeah, I hope you'll forgive a little bit of sloppiness up in here. I know that the comments are going to light up with people calling out my misplays. Do me a favor, if you watch till the end, if you really wanna make me feel better, because real talk, one of the only things that makes players keep going is encouragement. One of the worst things you can do to your content creator is tell them all the things they do wrong or tell them they suck. I mean, that is a good way to lose content, to just destroy it. A lot of us, even when we're doing it for the money, like, we get burnt out by that. I am already picturing all the things people are going to say about how much I suck, and I don't enjoy reading that. It doesn't make my day. There are days where I can laugh it off, and there are days when I'm having a really hard time where it gets to me. So if you want to do me a solid right now, I want you to go down the list of comments. Look for all the comments that are telling me my misplays or that I suck or that I'm terrible, and I want you to thumbs down them. Because nobody ever does this. Nobody ever thumbs downs these comments. There's plenty of thumbs up on good comments. Nobody uses the thumbs down option. Thumbs them down. That would make my day. All right. Also, thanks in general for watching my videos. You don't have to do the thumbs down thing if it feels wrong to you. And some of you may even have a problem with this, but I think it can be funny for one time. I'm phoning in my one time. Thumbs down those trolls. All right. And with that, thanks for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video where the mono green color challenge continues. Goodbye.